Hello, dear students. How are you all? Hope you all are fine. Hope you are fit and healthy at your home. I'm Sandhya Patel, the class 8 science teacher from Saint Mary High School. So, in our previous class, we have completed till that how the fire takes place. And today, we will see how do we control the fire. For the generation of fire, we need three things to be present simultaneously. Some sort of fuel or combustible material or heat source to raise the temperature of the fuel to its ignition temperature, enough oxygen to sustain combustion. So we all know that for generation of fire, we need three things. That is, first is oxygen, second is heat, and third is some sort of fuel or a combustible material. So all these three things are very much necessary for fire to take place. Now we are seeing that how can we control that fire. So if you remove any one of it, either you can remove the fuel, either you can remove the oxygen or the heat, what happens? The fire can be controlled. So here it is written. So if we remove any of these resources, the fire can be controlled. Fire can be controlled by removing any or all of the factors of combustion, that is fuel, oxygen, that is air, and ignition temperature, by lowering the temperature. Now, how we can control? We can control fire by removing any or all of the factors that are required for combustion. That includes fuel or oxygen or the air and the ignition temperature. How we can remove the ignition temperature? By lowering the temperature of that material. So this is how we control fire. The most common fire extinguisher is water. We know this. We know fire brigade are using water for extinguishing the fire. Whenever there is an accident, fire accident, we call fire brigade for the rescue. And when they come, what they do? They use water for extinguishing that fire. But water works only when things like wood and paper are on fire. If electrical equipment is on fire, water may conduct electricity and harm those trying to douse the fire. Water is also not suitable for fires involving oil and petrol. Now, where we can use water is that it should be only used when the fire takes place on wood and paper. But suppose if the fire takes place on any electrical equipment and if we use water as a fire extinguisher, it can harm to the person who is trying to extinguish that fire. It is not suggestible or it is not suitable for using water as fire extinguisher in electrical equipment. Not only in electrical equipment but also the fire that is involved in oil and petrol. And in that cases we cannot use water as fire extinguisher. So what should we use? Let's see. For fires involving electrical equipment and inflammable material like petrol, carbon dioxide is best extinguisher. So for fire that is involved in electrical equipment and inflammable material like petrol, we can use carbon dioxide for best extinguisher. The fire extinguisher is a device used by the fire brigade to control fire. The role of the fire extinguisher is to cut off the supply of oxygen or bring down the temperature of fuel or both. So, in the fire that is involved in electrical equipment and inflammable material like petrol, we can use carbon dioxide as best extinguisher. You must have seen a red colored bottle. That is a fire extinguisher and in that contains carbon dioxide. So that extinguisher we can use whenever there is a fire involved in electrical equipment or inflammable material. So the fire extinguisher is being used by fire brigade and the role of the fire brigade extinguisher is to cut off the supply of either oxygen or bring down the temperature of the fuel or both. So this is how we extinguish a fire or how we control a fire. Let's see ahead. Types of combustion. Now there are two types of combustion, that is rapid combustion and spontaneous combustion. And the third is explosion. Let's see the rapid combustion. The type of combustion in which heat and light are released in a very short span of time is called rapid combustion. For example, combustion of LPG. Now, in this type of combustion, what happens? The combustion takes place very quickly and it releases heat and light in very short span of time. And this type of combustion is known as rapid combustion. Example of rapid combustion is combustion of LPG. We all know that LPG burns very quickly. Second is spontaneous combustion. The type of combustion in which substances catch fire on their own without the application of heat is termed as spontaneous combustion. For example, forest fires. So this is a combustion in which the substance catch fire by their own. There is no requirement of any other fuel or other substance for the combustion. And this is taking place without the application of heat, and this type of combustion is known as spontaneous combustion. For example, forest fires. Third is explosion. The process of combustion in which a large number of gases are involved with the production of tremendous amount of heat, light and sound is called an explosion. For example, crackers. So explosion, you must already know that what is explosion. In Diwali, when we use cracker and we burn it, it explodes, right? It explodes by very and after the explosion, it releases a great sound and heat and light. So the combustion in which a large number of gases are involved and a tremendous amount of heat, light and sound is produced. So that type of combustion is known as explosion. So I hope the types of combustion are clear to you all. Let's see ahead. Flame. Flame is the visible and gaseous part of the fire. What we see as the flame is the light energy released due to the combustion of fuel. Now flame you all must be knowing. For example, this is a candle flame, right? A flame is actually a visible and gaseous part of the fire. Whatever the flame we are seeing is actually a light energy that has been released due to the combustion. Structure of flame. Now let's see the structure of flame. There are three zones in the flame. First is outermost zone, second is middle zone, and the third is innermost zone. You can clearly see in this picture. This is outermost, this is middle one, and this is the innermost zone. The outermost zone is the hottest among all the zones and is blue in color, and this is due to complete combustion. It is the non-luminous part of the flame. Now, when you talk about the structure of the flame and you talk about the outermost zone, it is the most hottest zone among all the three zones, and this is of blue color because it is taking place complete combustion. That is why it is blue in color, and it is the non-luminous part of the flame. Second is the middle zone of the candle. Flame is moderately hot and is yellow in color, and partial combustion of fuel takes place. It is the bright part of the flame. The middle zone is the moderately hot, that is, it is less hotter than the outermost and more hotter than the innermost zone. And it is yellow in color, and this is due to partial combustion of fuel. And it is the brightest part among all the three zones. The innermost zone of the flame is the least hot and is black in color. This is due to the presence of unburnt wax vapors. Now the innermost zone is the least hot and it is black in color. Why it is black in color? Because in this flame there is a presence of unburnt wax vapor, and due to which it is black in color. These are the three zones of the flame. So I hope this thing is clear. We have discussed that how we can control the fire. Second, we have discussed that what is flame, what are the types of combustion, and the last we have discussed the structure of flame. In the flame there is three zones. First is outermost zone, then second is middle zone, and the third is innermost zone. So this for today, this much only, and in our next class we are going to discuss further what is given in our textbook. So thank you so much.